Okay. Once again, good morning, everybody. In the last class, we looked into super globals. Uh, One is dollar underscore get, and another one is dollar underscore post. So quickly, we will review. So whatever the information that is available whenever you are using the get method, that will be available with the array dollar underscore get. If post method is used, dollar underscore post array will have the data as a key array map. This is how to check this server dollar underscore server. We will look. There is one of the key request underscore method where whether it is a post method or whether it's a get method will be stored. If you want to check the value whether the username is set or not, this particular example is like on the screen you have a user name text box and the password text box, and you are checking whether the information, whether the user has typed some data or not. So first you will check whether it's a post method, and if it is a post method, then you will check the value. How to check the whether username is present or not. Dollar underscore post, and you will give the uname. Uname is the name that you have given to the text box, and is set will check whether there is any value present or not. Similarly, we are checking on the pass, and if both are true, that means user has entered both username as well as password, then it will allow inside this if condition, and you can do the checking the credential whether it is a valid username and password or not, and based on that you can move them to the different screen, maybe some account details kind of a screen, and if it is not, then you can show the error. So else condition is not there. If you want to show that particular message after the submit button is clicked, you can have that information in the else block. Okay, this is the example just we talked about. We have username, and this is the uname. The name given to this text box is this one, uname, and for the password, the name given is the PASS. That is what you are accessing through the dollar underscore post array. And sometimes what happens is there will be multiple values that will come in. For example, you want to have a page where you want to select like select days of the week where you are free. So when you are selecting, there are multiple values will be checked. So you can see all are check boxes, and the content given, text given is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and after that you will see a checkbox. And if you see all these checkboxes has the same name, that is the day, and values are different based on the day, the values are different. So there is a possibility user will click on multiple values. So that time, how to access that? So you can access using, the same dollar underscore post or dollar underscore get. Inside the square bracket you will say the day. In this case, in particular case, there are multiple values. If you say just the day, what will happen is you will get only one value, whichever is the last value, that will be stored in the that particular array dollar underscore post or dollar underscore get with a key as day, and the value is the latest value that is stored. If you want to have multiple, if you want to capture all the multiple values, then you have to use it as an array. So what you will do, instead of giving it as a name is equal to day, you will say name is equal to day with the empty bracket. So this is a representation of a array. That is how you will get all the values. We will see this particular example with the code. And how you will access, we already know. Whenever it is a non-sequential key and value map, then you will use the for each. So for each will iterate through all the elements of the array, and it will show all the, you can access all the values until the end of the array. So for each dollar underscore get day. Now this dollar underscore get day is a it is a array. So array, and what would be the mapping? Mapping would be a day and the value. So first element it will get as a dollar $d. It will be displayed. Then it goes to the next element. If like 3 days are selected, so this will loop for 3 times, and you will display the whatever the selected days. Okay. Using query strings, we will see that today. Before that, we will see some of the code. Okay. So first one is a sorting. If you remember, we had two sorting methods. One is the sort, and another one is a sort. And just I will show you that. If you do the sort, all the values will be sorted, and then the key will change. And if you use a sort, it will retain the key and the value map. So for example, if you say sort and you give the array is Monday, Tuesday, those are the value we have. After you call this method, the array will be rearranged like this. So Friday, it will come in the alphabetical order. Friday will come first, Monday, then Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. And if you see, the keys are changed. Keys are starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, so on. If you want to retain the key and the value map, you don't want to disturb that mapping, then you will use the sort method on the, you will call it on the array. Now you can see still it is sorted by the values. So you can see it has sorted, but only difference is the keys are retained. Whatever the key was in the original array, that will be retained. We will see the example for that. This is the example. First, I will show you the how the page looked like. I have already turned on the Apache server. So you can see the Apache server is running. I'll go to the local host /2 underscore. Already it is here 2 underscore array sort PHP. So you can see here the original array is this is the day is the that is the array, and this day is a text, this is the key, and this is the value. And what is the original array that I have created is with this default 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And after doing a sort, you can see the values are arranged in alphabetical order: Friday, Monday, Tuesday. And if you see, the keys are again from 0 to 4. But if I use a sort, you can see the values are arranged in the alphabetical order, but the keys are retained. Okay, this is the code. I will show you the source code. In the source code, you can see it is the doc type HTML body arrays. Okay, you can see this is the h1 header 1, and I will just minimize so that we can see both together. This is the h2 is the original array, that is what you are saying. And inside here I have the start of the PHP code. And what is the first statement I have? $days is equal to, I am creating an array, and I am setting the key and the value map. How many values I have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 values, starting with the 0 index. 0, it is mapped to Monday value. So this is the key and the value pair I have for each of the days. 1 for Tuesday, 2 for Wednesday, 3 for Thursday. This is the array I'm creating. After that, echo strong. That is why you are seeing everything in the bold. Then for each $days is defined here. as key, this operator equal greater than, that is used for the key and the value mapping, uh, dollar value. So in the key, for the first, when it is iterating through the dollar days, first key is encountered, that whatever the first key and the value encountered, this will have the key value, and dollar value will have the uh, uh, value of that particular key, which is mapped to it. Now what you are doing is you are displaying echo, this is the string day dot concatenation dollar key, whatever is present in the key. So what is the first value? 0. That is how you are seeing day 0, then it is concatenated with the equal sign dot dollar value. Dollar value is what? Monday. This is the value that we are going to print. Then I have a break so that it goes to the next line, then it goes to the second element, and this is how all the elements are printed here. Then this is the end. Okay, this is the end. Then again I have echo h2. Now I have h2 after sort. After sort, I am calling the method sort and I am passing the dollar days. And now once I call the sort method, the array will be sorted and its index and the value, all those things will change according to this. After sorting, what is the first value we get? 0 is mapped to Friday. That is what is printed using this for each. And in the third scenario, this is the end of this piece of the code. And in the third, after a sort, that is h2, because the array is already changed, again I am reassigning, I am creating the array again with the original values, and I am calling a sort. You can see here I am calling the a sort, passing the dollar days array, and I am iterating. So key and the value, whatever is mapped there, the first position key is 4 and the value is Friday. Why? Because Friday is the it will come first in the order. Okay, alphabetical order. That is why it is mapped to the key and the value. So in case of a sort, it will retain the whatever the original keys are there. So if you see 4 Friday, you can see original key is 4. That's why you are seeing it is 4. MON 0, original is 0. In the second case, it has changed. So that is the first example. And the second example, this is regarding the dollar underscore post, right? Dollar underscore post, how we can get the values using the dollar underscore post. I will first show you this is how it will look like. Okay. So you can see login page H1. Then I have the start of the PHP code. This is the start of the PHP code, and this is the end of the PHP code. And inside the body, I have the form. Inside the form, what I have, action is equal to 3 underscore login.php. So here, just to avoid two separate codes, I'm calling the same. I'm calling the 3 underscore login.php. In reality, what you will do is, whichever is the appropriate PHP code where you want to do the processing, you will call that particular PHP method. And the method I am using is post, and name. This is what you see, the label name colon. Then I have the input box. Input type is equal to text. Name is equal to uname. So when I'm since this is the post, dollar underscore post will have a key called uname, and whatever the value you give in this box and user submit, that value will be mapped to that uname. Similarly, next one is the password. Input type is equal to password. We went through the different types of input. So password will make sure that whatever the values are typed by the user are not visible. Name, what I have given is pwd. So dollar underscore post will array will have a one more key called pwd, and whatever the value user gives will be mapped to that particular key. and last one is I have the submit button. Input type is equal to submit, that is the submit button. And inside the PHP code, what I have, once it submits, when user clicks on the submit, the query string is made and this particular PHP code is called on the server side. On the server side, what it will do is it will check if $_server excuse me, request method is equal to post. Request method should be post, and make sure that the particular username and password are means user has given those value. If that is true, what it will do is it will echo. What you will see, this will echo, it will output to the browser. What it will output, check if credentials are correct, then break, means it will go to the new line. Name, this particular string is concatenated with $_post uname. Uname, we got it as a part of the HTTP request. So that is mapped to the uname key. That value will be displayed here. Then again, next line, password, this particular text is concatenated with $_post, and the key is pwd, and it is concatenated with a break, that it will give one more line. So this is the code. If this is true, if it is not, name or password is missing, that is what it will show. So I will just enter some text and some password, and I will say submit. I'm calling the same PHP. So you will see the page itself. So you can see the code has been, this particular code is executed, and it is showing name as, this is what the name I gave, and the password is 1234. That is how you can access the whatever the form data, whatever the user is giving, you can access it on the server side. So instead of parsing the query string. Next one is, this is the example of multiple values I told you. Multiple values. Hoar underscore. Okay. So since I have mixed both the things together, that's why you are seeing this message here. Okay. Undefined index. If it is on the server side, it won't give that particular error. So I will show you a separate code also, where I have separated the PHP and the HTML. So this is the particular page. Okay. This is multiple values you are seeing here. Then I have the server code, and I have a form. Okay. Inside the form action, I'm calling the same PHP, and method is get, and I have one content here. Please select the days you are free. That is text is shown here. You are free. Then I have the check boxes for Monday to Friday. So those are input type is checkbox, name is day. If you see, all these are checkbox, type is checkbox, but the name is exactly the same, day. Day is the name, and when I select this particular checkbox, what is the value I am assigning? Monday. That is the value I am assigning. So let me select. Okay. And once you submit, what happens? This form, this data gets submitted to the this particular server side, and this PHP is called, which is nothing but the same PHP. And inside the PHP, what I am doing, I am checking whether it is a get method. If it is a get method, what I am doing, the selected days are, and I am listing those days. Okay. Echo day dot $_get day. So day is the name of the checkbox. So in this particular case, even though we are selecting multiple values, because it is not stored as an array, what will happen is only the last value that is selected will be shown. So I will show you the example. For example, I will select Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, and I will say submit. So now you can see the selected days are Thursday, day Thursday. That is, it is coming from here. The selected days are day Thursday, only one value, whichever is the last value it will send that. Suppose if I select Monday, Tuesday and Friday, if I say submit, you will see Friday, only the last value. To overcome that, what we have to do, one small change. Instead of just the day, you will give day with a empty square bracket which represents the array. You can see here all the now input checkboxes are having the name as day with the empty square bracket. And in PHP, what we are doing is, instead of earlier it was only one value, now it is a array. So in order to loop through that array, I have to use the for each. So the selected days are, then for each dollar underscore get day. So you will access the particular array with a key day as $d and day colon $d. So you will keep on selecting the different values user has selected on different lines. So I am using multiple breaks here so that it clearly puts the days on a different lines. Let me open 5 underscore multiple vals code first. 5 underscore, this is the PHP. Okay, so this is the same error because of this, like I have both together in one, that's why we are getting that error. Let me select Monday, Tuesday and Friday. I will say submit. Now you can see here, once the server gets the data, the selected days are Monday, Tuesday and Friday. It is looping through all the data. Now, how to separate the two things? I have created one HTML which will have, so this is the 6. Okay, let me go to htdocs. So all the code you have to put it in the htdocs. I have created one HTML 6 underscore form dot HTML. Okay, so this is the form I have created. So this particular form, this is how that particular page will look like. And what I have there, I have just the HTML part I have included here, uh, multiple values. Then we have the PHP here. Action is 6 underscore multiple vals dot PHP. So I am calling a different PHP now. Okay, and I have all the values. This is exactly the same. And in case of a 6 underscore multiple values dot PHP, I have just the PHP code. So inside here, I have the just the PHP code. You can see here, this is checking whether it's a get method, and if it is a get method, it is printing the selected days are, and it is looping through. Now you are not seeing that error where it was saying that index is undefined. Now you will select values, and when you say submit, it will submit it to the PHP. That particular PHP will be called, and this PHP, okay, this particular PHP is called, and inside this PHP what I have the selected days are, and it is going through all the list. Okay, I have separated the HTML and the PHP. This is how you should be doing it. Okay, next we'll continue with the using query string in the in links. Imagine a web page in which we are displaying a list of book links. One approach would be how to separate page for each book. So I want to have a web page. In that web page, we are displaying let's say number of books. So number of books when you are displaying, you can display it as a separate link, and you can choose to have a separate PHP code for that. When user clicks on this elementary algebra, it will go to a separate PHP code, and when they click on the next curious writer, it will go to separate PHP. So every link will point to a different page. So this is one way of doing it. But what we are doing is we are repeating the code for displaying the book. Let us say I have set up a code where it will nicely present the book with a bookmark and the paging options and all those things. That code, particular code, will repeat in all the these PHPs. The content would be different, but the PHP code will remains the same. So it is a kind of a duplication of the code. Instead of that, what we can do is, when you are giving it as a link, you can pass the query string. So let us say each book will have a different ISBN number. You can send that ISBN is equal to whatever the number, and on the server side, whichever the PHP code you are writing, first you will check what is the ISBN number. According to that, you will get the content. You will get the particular file, and you will display. Now, the amount of code that you have written, it is only one code, and whenever based on this query string, the content will change. Either you will show this book or the other book, but the PHP code will remains the same. Sanitizing query strings. Just because you are expecting a proper query string doesn't mean that you are going to get a properly constructed query string. Distrust all user input. What is the meaning of this is, like, whenever you are getting a data as a query string, you cannot be 100% sure that it is the correct data. So users can give all kind of a weird kind of a data. So the data validation or the sanitization should happen on the server side. Process of checking user input for incorrect or missing information is sometimes referred to as the process of sanitizing user inputs. Basically, you will make sure that whatever the input that user is giving, it is correct according to your requirement. Let us say, for example, name. Definitely name will not have the numbers, so that is one kind of a validation. So you can make sure that such whatever the data requirement, according to the data requirement, you do the sanitization. Okay. Trim, as you know, trim is the function. If there are any additional spaces on left or the right hand side, it will remove those spaces. This is one example where they have shown how to sanitize the query string. In this particular case, we have used a database API, MySQL I underscore real underscore escape underscore string. So they are passing the link and they are giving the ID, whatever the ID that was given by the user, and it will create a process ID. When you create a process ID, that process ID will be definitely a number. So you can check is int, whether that process ID created is a integer or not. If it is integer, you will go with the normal processing. If it is not, then there is something went wrong here in the creation of the process. Something went wrong, and you can catch that error, and you can take corrective action. Next, global is a dollar underscore server. Under dollars underscore server, it is also similar to dollar underscore get, dollar underscore post. It is similar to them. It's an associative array where there is a mapping between the key and the value. And what it contains is the HTTP request headers. So whatever the client sends, okay, whenever user clicks on the submit, HTTP request is sent to the server. So whatever is in that request, that header information will be stored in the dollar underscore server. And configuration options for the PHP. If there are any configuration options, those information will be available. To use the dollar underscore server array, you simply refer to the relevant case sensitive key name. So these are the case sensitive key name, means you have to use it in the way it is given, that is in the uppercase. So for example, what are the different information we can get? We can get server name, server software, remote address, things like that. So here they have doing the echo dollar underscore server, and inside the square bracket you will give the name of the key. And what is the key name? Server underscore name in the capital letters. So what are the different information that we can get is a request method, whether it is a get or post. So this is the example of the HTTP request header. So this is the post, and this is the server protocol HTTP/1.1, and this is the request time. This is the request time, and which is the HTTP host. Okay, this is the host information. Then HTTP user agent, who is the user. In this case, it is a Mozilla with a version. Then we have the HTTP accept encoding. Encoding here used is the gzip, and the connection, HTTP connection, whether it is alive or not, those kind of information. And as I told you, there is a configuration information that will be stored. For example, server underscore name, server underscore address, server underscore port. So what is the server name, its IP address, and which port it is listening to. Those are the those information will be available from the configuration files. Server information keys. Server underscore name contains the name of the site that was requested, so it will contain the site. Server address will contain the IP of the server. Document underscore root tells the location from which you are currently running your script, so it will give the root location. A script underscore name identify the actual script that is being executed. Request underscore method, it will tell what kind of a method it is, whether it is a get, post, put, head. Those are the different HTTP requests that can be used. Remote address returns the IP address of the requester. So whoever is making that particular request to the server, his IP address will be stored in the remote underscore address. User HTTP user agent, it contains the operating system and the browser that the client is using. And HTTP underscore referrer, in case you are redirected to the some other link, means for example, you main page is there, main web application is there. From that application, if you are routed to another application, means to the another server, that information will be stored in the HTTP referrer. This is the example. This is the start of the PHP code, end of the PHP code. Echo dollar underscore server HTTP user agent. So it will display the user agent information on the browser. Then dollar browser is equal to get underscore browser. This is the method. Okay, and you will print it. So using this method, which will take the input as a user agent, and true, it will give the name of the browser, and which can be displayed on the browser. So in case of a referrer, this is the example. If you are rerouted to some other server, dollar previous page is equal to dollar underscore server HTTP underscore referrer. So whichever page it got routed from, if that happens, this particular key will be mapped to the the IP address of the server from where it got routed. Check to see if referrer was our search page. Okay, so this is the example that is given here. This is used to, for example, on Google, you search, right? You search for certain things, and when you make a click, okay, and you will go to the some other web application. When that particular request is sent, this HTTP underscore referrer will have the information about the website from where you were routed. That is the Google website information will be there. Security, these are not highly secured. These can be forged, means that can be changed. The HTTP underscore referrer header can lie about where the referral came from. So that can be changed, and that can be request can be modified, and that can be sent. Similarly, user agent can lie about the operating system, what operating system and the browser the client is using. So that information cannot be relied upon. The next one is a dollar underscore files array. In case of a dollar underscore files array, whatever the file related information which is getting uploaded to the server will be stored, and it is exactly similar to the other super globals. It is an associative array where information is stored in as a key and the value map. The dollar underscore files associative array contains items that have been uploaded in the current request. So in the current request, if there is any file being uploaded, then it will contain all the information about that particular file upload. The server script must process the upload file in some way. The dollar files array helps in this process. Suppose if server script has to process the uploaded file, means process in the sense you are maybe you are checking for its size or its a type or maybe its content. So that time you can use the dollar underscore files array, which will help in the processing. The dollar underscore files array will contain key value pair for each file uploaded in the post. So one thing you have to remember, dollar underscore files will contain the information about all the files that are being uploaded. Okay, so there can be more than one file which will be stored as a key value pair. Okay. HTML required for the file uploads. You must ensure that the HTML form uses the HTTP post method, since transmitting the file through the URL is not possible. So whenever you are using the a form to upload a particular file, you must choose the HTTP post. We cannot use any other method, get, or in case of a get through URL, we cannot send the file. So that is the reason it has to be a post method. You must add enclosure type. Enc type is equal to multi-part / form data. So this parameter, this attribute must be included to HTML form that is performing the upload, so that HTTP request can understand it is a file upload. You must include the input type of the file in your form. You should also include the what type of the type as file. The type attribute should be set as a file. You can see this is the example form enc type. Whenever we are using file upload, we must include this. Okay, enc type is equal to multi-part / form dash data. This is the value and this is the attribute, and method that you must use is the post method, and the input type is equal to file. These are the minimum things that you must include, and for this input you are given the name as file1 and id is file1. Then you have the button for the submission. Type is equal to submit. Okay, the dollar underscore files array will contain key is equal to value, that is a key value pair for each file uploaded in the post. For every file uploaded, we will have the key value pair. The key for each element will be the name attribute from the HTML form, while value will be an array containing the information about the file as well as the file itself. So the key would be the file, okay, name of the file, and the value would be the information about that particular file. The keys in the array are the name, type, tmp underscore name, error, and size. So these are the different keys that are that can be used. So here is the example of file uploading. This is the form, HTML client. This is the form. We have enc type set, method is post, action, you are submitting this to upfile.php, where you will going to do the processing. Input type file, name is given as file1. Okay, so input type is equal to submit. So this is how it will look like. Okay, on the HTML browser, on the browser, it will HTML will look like this. We have the input here for the file. Then you can browse and select particular file, and then you can do the submission. When you do the submission, this is how it will. The file will. You can see here, file1, and this all is the file content, file information that is encrypted. And on the PHP side, how you can access the information about this file is file1, because if there are multiple files, if file2 is there, then I will have file2 and its information. So these are the information about the file. For every file, I will have name, type, temp underscore file, error, and size. How to access? Echo dollar underscore files. First, you will specify the file1, that the file1 is pointing to the first file information. If there is a one more file, then file2, whatever the name you are going to give here, whatever the name you are going to give here. Suppose if you have one more control here for taking another upload, then you will have input file, then name is equal to file2. Then you will have the first key is the file2. Okay, then once you have the file1, I can access its name using the key name that will contain sample1.png. So if you want to access the name, what you have to do? Dollar underscore files. First, you have to specify the file1, which is the input that is given on the HTML document, and then you specify the another key, which is name type. Okay, these are the different values you can access. This pair will give the this pair will store the value. So if you just think of this as a two-dimensional array, if there are multiple files, each file has a name, type, and everything, so it is a two-dimensional. So type is PNG because it is a PNG, image forward PNG, and temporary file, TMP underscore file. This is the name and the location. Error 0. If there is any error, it will be error value will be set, and size, it will give the size in terms of the bytes. So these are the different keys that can be used on the file. Name is a string containing the full file name used on the client machine, including any file extension. Type, it is a MIME type, whether it's a .txt, .doc, .png, that is the type. TMP name is the full path to the location on your server where the file is being temporarily stored. That is the location of the where the file is going to be stored. Error is an integer, and if it is successful, upload is successful, it will have a upload underscore err underscore OK. That is the value which represents a 0. If there are any error, it will give the appropriate error codes. Then size, it will represent the size in bytes. Check for errors. For every uploaded file, there is an error value associated with it in the dollar underscore files array. So whenever the successful upload happens, the dollar underscore files in that array, we for the file we have a key called error that will be set to a value upload underscore err underscore OK. Okay, and it should be checked before further processing. This is the example for each dollar underscore files. If there are multiple files, you want to for each dollar underscore files as dollar file key. So this will have the when it is iterating, first key will be stored in this. okay, and the values will be stored in the file array. So you will iterate through each of the files. Let us say there is only one file. This is the file 1 in our previous example. This is the file 1, and it will have the array. Okay, array will have the all the information about the name, size, error, all those things. Now dollar file array, okay, inside the square bracket you will give the key as error, so it will store the value. If it is not equal to upload underscore err underscore okay, that means something went wrong. If it is not equal to that this particular value, then something is wrong, then you will say the file upload has an error and you will take a corrective action. If this condition is false, means what? Uploaded file has the value of this one, and which represents the correct upload without any problems. That time you will, else you will come here and you are going to process that particular file. File size restriction. You can put a restriction on the file size. We can do it in the three ways. One is using the HTML in the input form. Second one is the using the JavaScript. Okay, and the third is using the PHP coding. So, suppose there is a limitation on limitation you want to put on the size of the file being uploaded, then you can do it in these three different ways. First one is add an hidden input field before other input fields in your HTML form with a name max underscore file underscore size. The file uploading must be complete before an error message can be received. So the first and the third method, the first and the third method, actually what happens is the file will get uploaded. So the processing actually happens on the server side, and the second method, JavaScript, the validation can be done on the client side. So what you will do in case of a HTML, in this you will include a hidden type. You will include an input which is of type hidden, and you will give the name with exactly this characters or this string, that is max underscore file underscore size, and a value is the size you want to specify. In this particular case, they have set the value as this is around 1 MB. So 1 MB is the size. So this is a hidden input. You will not be seeing it on the particular form. On the form, what you will see is a one file input for the file and the submit button. Only those two things will be seen. On the server side, once the file uploading completes and then the file size is checked, and if there is any error, let's say the file size is more than 1 MB, then only the error will be shown. That is what this is. The file uploading must be complete before an error message can be received. So whether the file size is more or not, it will be known only after the file is uploaded. Next method is the this has a certain advantage. Sometimes what happens is like a huge file is there. User for uploading it will take certain time. User will wait for some time, right, to see that particular thing getting uploaded. And after say certain time, maybe 5 minutes, if you show the error that the size is more, that is not a good design. If you move that validation on the client side, immediately user will come to know at the client side only. Immediately he will come to know whether the file size is exceeding or not. It allows the client side check to happen before any data transmitted. How to do that? This is the script, beginning of the script. This is the end of the script. In JavaScript, how to create the variable using var. This is the file name of the variable is equal to we know that document has a get element by id. So document dot get element by id file 1. This is a name you are given for the input. What it will do, it will get the object, the input object it will get. So file will have the that particular object. Then variable max underscore size document dot get element by id. So max underscore file underscore size, that is the second input. So I will show. This is the file one. Okay, get the element by ID. This is the max file size. So that is what we are getting here, and dot value. So whatever the value that is has been set for that, in this particular case, 1 MB is set. That is stored in the max underscore size. File dot files. So this is file dot files is, it will get a list of files whichever has been loaded. It will get that, and you are checking whether the length is 1. In this particular case, the number of file is 1. If both are true, file dot files, this is the first file. Okay, because it's a file dot files is a list. You are accessing the first one. 0 dot size, you are getting the size of that particular file, and you are checking if it is greater than the max file size. Then you will immediately on the client side itself, you will get an given error. You will give the error, error, the file key, whatever the name of the file, is too big. Limiting the type of the file upload. Okay, so this particular topic we'll see in the next session.